Another confirmation that I asked for was that on the day of the wedding, Lord, let the rain fall.
So hold up though. Say the rain never fall for wedding. Wait a do.
And now for our featured presentation.
Hi everyone, welcome to another
Conversation with Elise.
Conversation with Elise. We want to welcome you to another conversation. We want to welcome all our new subscribers. It's really a joy that you guys have come on board with us, and we are so happy that you are a part of the Lee family. As you know, we discuss on this channel God, we discuss family, we discuss marriage, and general, having a good time. Today is another such conversation we'll be having, and this conversation is the start of our series, Marriage Works. This is basically where we'll be interviewing some couples regarding marriage. Our first couple that we'll be interviewing is our good friends, the Christians. They are literally Christians, but they are married and they are the Christians, members of our own assembly. And it gives us great pleasure and great joy, to invite Raynar and Malika Christian to Conversation with Lee. So we have a wonderful conversation. And of course, we invite you to share your comments, of course, to like the video and to share it. And if you're not yet subscribed, please do so. All right. Again, we are happy and delighted to have with us Raynar and Malika Christian, who celebrated 10 years of wedding anniversary. And as I tell you, just the thought of saying 10 sounds humongous. But as we do here on this channel, we celebrate marriage, we celebrate love, we celebrate life, we celebrate God, and He's the author of everything. And so we are again happy and delighted to bring to you guys another conversation with a lovely couple, good friends of ours. And so we're going to start off by just asking them both to tell us a little about themselves. And do I give it away that they're married for 10 years already? But just tell us a little about yourselves.
All right, husband.
You go.
Okay.
Ladies first.
I guess so. Well, everyone, as Carnell says, my name is Malika Christian, the beautiful wife of Raynar Christian. I would say we've been married for 10 years, as he mentioned. Two lovely children, a wonderful 8-year-old and an amazing 10-month-old, keeping us busy on our feet, but we don't want any other way. Yeah, what can I say?
Okay.
My passion has now become family. Before, never always been like don't want this, but now that you have it, there's nothing else but it. And of course, the Lord ahead of that. I love to sing. I do think I can, blow something through the pipe.
I didn't see the little guy. She does sing on the choir at church.
Yeah.
Just to say the least.
Trying my very best. Very down to earth, fun person, love laughing. Yeah, hardworking, I would say, very ambitious, very caring, love to see when persons progress in life, and enjoy their success with them. Yes. Because I know that they would have worked hard to get where they are. So it's only best to enjoy it with them once you're able to do that. But that's just me, very low key.
So let's hear from Deacon Christian.
All right, my name is Raynar Christian, as you said earlier. I could almost say that she said it all. But for me, I'm constantly reading, always looking on something.
Quickly ask you for me. Could you tell us how long you both got? When did you both get saved individually?
I
And
got
what
saved.
age?
I got saved when I was 10 going on 11. That's
11,
19. That's
11 years old.
1998. Yes, somewhere there.
Okay.
And from there, I've been in church. Probably sleep there and then, but still there.
Excellent.
Well,
And
for,
Malika?
well, for me, I got filled with the Holy Ghost when I was in 11th grade. Walked very, very, smooth and confident, but friends and life. But in 2008 was when I went into church fully, and I've never left since. So
Excellent.
check from there, 2008 until 2023.
All right. My brain not so fast for the maths, but yeah, it's a long time. Excellent. All right. So I'm gonna Michelle, of course, this is guys, if you see us talking and just having fun, that's just all we are with Malika and Raynar. That's how it is. So you're gonna have a really good time. So we have some questions that we're gonna ask you, and so we want you to respond individually and we're collectively, no problem.
Okay.
Go ahead, Michelle.
First one.
Mm-hmm.
How did you both meet?
Let me give my story first. There was a good friend of hers who told me about her. But before then, I did, like when I do investigation,
Mm-hmm.
I went and do a little research on her. And I researched and when I researched, it looked like somebody who I wanted. And so from there, I moved on to the next segment where I hook up a three-way call with the friend who introduced me and her, not knowing that the friend was on the line. And from there, the pain began to set.
Excellent.
Unique, that's nice.
So Malika, what was your first impression? Then we're gonna ask Raynar for his impression.
Upon us meeting
Right.
the first time.
Right. First time.
All right, so our first meetup was at Sovereign. And this was while we were, having phone conversations after he stalked me. So we were to meet at Sovereign.
After he stalked you.
Yes, investigation.
He knows what he wants. Quite clearly. Go ahead.
So we were supposed to meet up at Sovereign. So, got ready, went down to Sovereign, and I was there waiting because he was coming from work and I didn't go to work that day. So I'm at Sovereign right around where Monarch Pharmacy is, looking out to the road, right? And I'm looking and I'm like, okay, because at this point I didn't know what he looked like. I didn't go and do an investigation. I didn't know what he looked like. So I was there. And I see this guy come in and I'm like, okay, this looks like it could be him. But I realized the guy didn't come my way. So I'm like, okay, that's not him.
Next.
Another one passed and I'm like, all right, maybe this is him. And again, this one passed. And it's like, okay, not him. So I'm there waiting now and I see this young man walking and bouncing, coming through the gate, and I'm like, God, do not make a him. But lo and behold, it was him.
Yes.
And yeah, that's how I always have thought that story. It's just so funny how you expect the one that's supposed to be, and it's not.
Yeah, you quickly find out for, but I think the unique thing about all of that is that when you get to know each other, like you don't even remember that was you remember, but you say, how could I? How dare I?
Yes, trust me, it's a very funny story up until now.
So what was your first impression, Raynar, when you saw her?
You see, because I stalked her I had an idea of
So
how
he
she looked
already
and
know.
everything already. So I had already done my homework. She was the one who didn't do her homework.
Right. Yeah, but then in person, no, was it the reality was like
my eyes was full.
fits.
My eyes was full.
For him to
Excellent.
stand her
Excellent.
was full.
Excellent.
You know, nice. So how was the first 2 years of living together? What was it like? You know, like getting used to your own space, and now here comes somebody to share with, you know.
You wanna go?
You go.
All right. It took some getting used to. Honestly, it took some compromising. It took some checking that, all right, Malika, you have to give it, just give up a little, because we're two different personalities. Right. Raynar is very laid back, very humble, I would want to say somewhat quiet. For me, we met nice. I was sitting out in the house, and so it took a lot of adjustments, I know, for him and for me. And then within the first 2 years, baby was on the way. So now just imagine the house.
So you guys didn't waste any time?
No, we did not. Just imagine the house with 2 persons trying to get to know each other, and then me filled with this whole heap of hormones.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I had to check myself at times and to really put myself in his shoes to understand his feelings. So I do not push how I feel on him for him to accept it, trying to understand that, okay, this is just how he is, and right now, this may not be me in, fully, this is me times hormones. So I guess he had to, condition his mind for that, because Mish, as you know, pregnancy and hormone, it have us doing some crazy
raging war.
Yes, it have us doing some crazy things. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, because I think Raynar allows me to have my time. So we don't feel overwhelmed,
Yeah, because I was about to ask you then, so out of 10 you gave him what? A 9?
I give him a 9.5.
Well,
that's good.
Well done.
That's good, because
well done, Raynar.
that's
Well
excellent,
done.
actually.
Yes.
Excellent.
As some men lose it too, they cannot deal with the hormone and fussness. And the truth is, some men don't even realize what's happening with the lady. That, look, this is not normally your wife. It's just a hormone. So that's really good.
You have to just follow the scripture, Whatever state you find yourself.
I agree with you.
So I know she said she gave you a 9.5. But how challenging was it for you though? Whether mentally or otherwise?
I wouldn't say it is challenging, but you see, because you grew up in a family setting,
yes,
it was easy to
maneuver
or put together. So it wasn't really a great challenge. It was like, okay, I saw this before, so
excellent.
I just well do the same thing.
Excellent.
That's true.
Right.
No, it's you.
Okay. All right. So you guys are here are together, married for 10 years now. You have 2 children. All right. What is that one thing that annoys you the most about each other?
Oh, I was wondering what's to do with the kids.
Come on. Still on you guys.
Should I go first, or you want to go?
What annoys me the most?
That one thing, yeah. They probably talk to her about it over and over. Or maybe just find a solution.
I mean, if you don't have one, you don't have to force it.
Yeah, if you don't have one, that's good.
It's fine.
I can't find one.
I have one though.
All right.
What annoys me, even up to this day, it does annoy me, is the fact that my husband, he doesn't talk as much as I would want him to talk. So it kind of gives me extra work to kind of feel out, how is his day? Like, how is he feeling?
Yes.
When certain things happen that I know should shake someone naturally, he tends to keep it in and deal with it how he deals with it. When I want him to just open up and talk and just get it, out of the way, deal with it and let's go. So he's naturally not the talkative person,
Yeah.
So that kind of annoys me, because I say because I want him to be a certain way where communication is. We communicate, but just come to me openly and say, you know, this bothers me. Then I have to see. And I know it would bother you, you know, and then I have to say, all right, you know, let's talk. This happened.
Yeah.
How you feel? Is that peeling the orange and you have the knife? So if you dig your finger down in it and pull back the layers and the grime will go up in their eye, you know, so that bothers me at times. I wish he would just come and just say what bothers him, because you know me, once something bothers me,
Yeah,
Yes.
I am going to voice it because something we need to talk about and get it over with. So that's the only thing.
Well,
I mean, I can understand that it bothers you and whatnot. And yes, it does bother you, but that is also in another thing that maybe in another situation with another couple, they would wish they have that. So there's always something that we may want to change, while, you know, others may, you know, pray for it. So it's, in every marriage, there's something that bothers or something that don't matter. So so the next question is, how did you know that he is the one, and how did he know that you was the one, to know that, you know, it's time to tie the knot, because him this or she this?
like, because your first impression, Malika, was, Lord God, please make a him.
Yeah.
So that you, is he says, what was it that said, okay, no man, is him?
He's the one. I'm done looking.
All right, so after the Lord God, don't make a hero. All right, so it was more than one thing. The first thing was that my mom loved him, right? You couldn't tell her nothing about Raynar. She didn't want to hear it unless it's positive. She loved him.
That's good.
How he spoke about his mother. I always say, watch a man as to how he treats his mother, because how he treats his mother is how he's going to treat you. And then the other thing that really kind of cemented for me was that one night we were talking on the phone, and he said to me, "Where is the Bible? Grab it and let's go." And I'm like, all right, this sounds like it, because that's what I want.
Yes.
Because remember, we're not just catering for the physical, man. We're catering for the spiritual, and you want somebody who's going to take the lead, you know, especially when it's your husband or somebody you're looking to get married. He's supposed to can, you know, hold the fort and bring you along with him. And so I love the fact that he took, you know, control of our spiritual life. As in, get your Bible, let's go. Be honest, when him say get your Bible, let's go, I say, yeah.
That's the answer.
Excellent.
So that was it for me. You?
Yeah, that's good.
Me, it was through prayer and several confirmation from persons from, at first me I see them,
Yes.
and then confirm it, you know, that is your wife, because you ask the Lord. And also, I don't know if it matched, but another confirmation that I asked for was that on the day of the wedding, Lord, let the rain fall. And the rain did fall. So there and then I know.
You knew.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I believe in those.
So hold up though. Say the rain never fall for wedding day. Wait a do.
Let me not think about that. I don't want to think about that.
Just take the leap of faith.
Look here, he was late.
You know.
He was late for the wedding. So maybe if the rain didn't fall, he wouldn't show up.
Maybe he was waiting.
Come to think of it. Come to think of it. All right. So, let me ask you now, though. On a serious level, do you enjoy being married?
I wouldn't say enjoy.
Because we want single people to hear of how we as married persons you know, I enjoy marriage and give them something to hope for.
I wouldn't say enjoy. It's bigger than enjoy.
Okay.
It's like not even a boat. It's more like a cruise ship.
Okay.
It's big. It's something that has different avenues, different rooms, a whole lot of different things where you can sail.
Right.
And as each years go by, you touch each and every one. And as you continue going on, go on. So it's something that is continuously working, always working. And sometimes, as you know, as a cruise ship, it dock and you go and you enjoy yourself and then you come back when they sailing again.
Okay.
Beautiful. It's a journey, basically. So
Yeah, but so does that journey? If you were to sum it up in a word, what would that journey?
No, that journey. It's a
voyage.
it's a school ship.
It's splendicious.
Splendicious.
Hey.
Okay. All
I
right.
like that.
Awesome. And I tell you, for single persons, if you really want to get married, it's a good thing. It's a wonderful thing. But remember, it's a good journey that both person has to
Agree upon.
sail on the same level.
Yeah.
Special. Well, for me, I mean, marriage is good. I do enjoy my marriage. My husband gone to cruise ship. I do enjoy my marriage. And
Yes.
because a cruise ship is very beautiful,
Right.
you know. But at times in the water, the waves get a bit rough. And so
That
it
is
gets a
true.
bit rocky. But it still stays firm. It's just the water that's moving underneath it. So
Right.
that's marriage. There are times when you're going to have your ups and your downs, but you have to make your marriage what you want it. Marriage takes work. It takes compromise. It takes genuine love. Even
Yes.
nowadays, to stay married, it really takes genuine love. So you need to know that, look here, if you're going to go into this union, it is indeed for better or for worse.
Right.
Because there's going to come times when the worst is going to be at your doorstep. You know, what are you going to do? Jump over into the water? No, you have to stay in the cruise ship and find a way to navigate the worst that comes at your door. But that doesn't mean that the love should go out. In fact, for me, I think it enriches the love that you have for each other because you're going through the storm together.
Right.
The marriage, for young people who want to get married, be sober about it, but it's a beautiful thing. It's very
Excellent.
beautiful.
Beautiful.
I agree.
One other thing I hear too,
Agree.
especially overseas, I've been told on numerous occasions, like for persons who are single, it is a little bit more challenging for them because all of the bills, all of the expenses, they have to go through by themselves. But if you're married, and most times some people, they're like moving with a girlfriend and moving with a boyfriend, and then they share expenses, and they find that when two persons put in together, then they're able to achieve more. You understand? So yeah, marriage is fantastic.
Yeah, and I really like the analogy that both of you use. I think it's a perfect analogy because on a cruise ship, you can be there enjoying yourself, but on that journey, you don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
You understand? Stuff can get rough. It can be the storm. It can be any little thing. But guess what? You have to pull together. Everybody have to survive. We let the ship have to come out alive. You know. So
True.
I like it. That was beautiful.
And they stick it through together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So here we know. Yes, all the questions that you guys got, we make sure. Yeah, you have those, but there are some that we didn't send you. But this is the fun part of it. But this is the fun part of it. So we're gonna play this game. It's called Who is Most Likely to. All right.
Okay.
Who's most likely to? So, if it Raynar, if it is Malika, touch her head. Malika, if it's Raynar, touch Fim head or point. Whichever one you
What
choose
did you choose? How you choose to respond?
to respond.
Okay.
But if it's the opposite person, you have to then indicate that it's the other person.
Suppose about.
Well, the both for
Yeah.
both. And so, who's most likely to spend?
Uh-oh.
Okay, so Malika is a saver.
It depends, to be honest. If it's on the kids, me.
Yes.
Otherwise, Sir
Okay.
Christian.
Next one. Who's most likely to fall asleep after intimacy?
The men.
Exactly, Michelle.
It's natural. It's natural. That's how we are designed.
They just give you everything.
Hold on. There are times when Michelle, when you fall asleep.
It's
Talk
not
true.
but it's mostly you. Out of the 20 much years, they just get used to it.
All right.
No, we are designed
All right,
that way.
Who's most likely to cry after watching a movie?
The woman. Yeah, that's most of the woman in most.
That's true.
That's like an easy one.
Yeah.
All right. Who's most likely to start a quarrel?
It takes two.
We interviewed the Christians.
Me.
1 minute to go. Next one. Who's most likely to start the makeup? You?
That's
All right,
good.
come, let's go together.
So the both of you.
Both of you, that's good.
All right. So you answer the one about makeup. So last one. Who's most likely to rush to the kids when the crying starts?
It depends on what cry
Depends
is.
on the cry.
Yeah.
To be honest, it depends.
Okay.
Because even just today, the kids were upstairs and you heard a little cry from the baby, but you know it was nothing to run for. When you hear that scream off your head, then you know so it's either sleep a bite or hunger walks. So you know you have to go. So it depends on what the cry is.
Okay. So that means either of you will
Either one of us.
Okay. All right. So we have a few more questions to go.
Okay.
If you could change anything about your spouse, what would that be?
Nothing.
I think she said it in the beginning and I said
The fact that he doesn't
speak up.
as much as I want.
Which is the only thing that annoyed you.
Yeah.
Right.
So
that's the only thing that annoys me.
I would change nothing.
that's good.
Excellent.
Who is most fashion forward? Yeah, your question. Oh, Mal said her. I mean, it's expectable. She's a woman too. So, even though
I think so. I'm very simple.
You're very simple.
Simple.
So if you're going to a wedding, Malika is gonna dress you.
More likely.
Yep.
We never said anything wrong with you. Just ask who was the most.
Stop going like sometimes, say, well, just find someone else, just pick.
Yeah, but come
especially
on.
lately.
Yeah, but you know, say,
can't bother.
but when we touch you, it's going to be something in my coordinate. And like someone go to the store to buy something.
Put it this way, guys. If you see him in two nice not pants bottom and the tie look far and look like you're trying to see the tie card.
Like seriously?
You love to I love the matching tie. Right? I would like the matching tie, but Connor doesn't like matching tie. He likes
the
contrast.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
And sometimes I say, baby, should I tell them on? And I say, look closer, I'm sorry.
And does it connect? Talk true.
They get used to it, I guess.
All right.
But
how does your faith impact, or how has your faith impacted your marriage?
Right. For the fact that, 10 years is a long time, to be very honest. And as I said, you've gone through so much with each other. I remember of a certain circumstance where things were not as cute as we would thought it would be. Or maybe, you feel like, okay, you've gone over the first 5 years, the first, 7 years, and things should kind of look up, if he wasn't looking up from the get-go. My faith has helped me to stay sober. Let's say that. It has helped me to stay very sober. Things were sour at points. And not our relationship, but just things, life in general, being able to sustain what you want for yourself and for your kids. Wanting to give your kids what you've never got. And there are times when it just wasn't adding up. I remember, so there are times when things just wasn't adding up. And I remember of a case where it got really bad, and I remember coming out of the restroom and sitting on the bed. And the pressure of what was going on was so heavy that all I could do was just to cry out to the Lord. And it didn't take the rest of the day for the Lord to come through with whatever it was that we needed.
Right.
So my faith has given me someone to speak to outside of my marriage. Because when we become one, you don't take up your marriage business and go tell anybody. So my faith has become my avenue in which I can just let out whatever it is. You know, there are times when God even corrects me right there and then. There are times when little things happen, I would want I would react to Raynar a certain way out of anger or frustration. But right there and then is that the Lord hit me right there in my conscience, and it had me thinking, you know, and it brings me right to going to apologize to him. And I know normally outside of God, I wouldn't have done that. You know, back then, once I'm done, I'm done. But the Lord has become that avenue that has really helped me to have that close friend that is closer than a brother. You know, right there and then, whether it's through my mouth or in my mind, we can have this conversation, and I know that you hear me. You know, and I know that if it doesn't come through right there and then, it doesn't mean that it's not going to come through. It just takes patience.
Right.
And sometimes to learn patience, it hurts, but once you learn it, or once you're grasping, you know, on it, then you see the beauty of it.
Yeah.
So trust me, my faith has truly kept me sober.
I love to use analogies.
Go ahead, sir.
And the analogy I really use now is that, you see, faith, if you use it and make song with your marriage, it will make you a better person. So Jesus at the top, marriage in the middle, Jesus at the bottom. Sometimes he's in the mix of it also. But he must be the head of it and the tail of it. And you in the
beginning and the end.
Yeah,
beginning and the end. And in the mix. It's like the ketchup and the mayonnaise.
Okay.
the flavor. I agree.
Yes.
It's so true.
Yeah, but your faith, it makes us stronger. It makes us stronger. Because you have an avenue to have somebody who you can go to and secretly tell him what is going on.
Yeah, and the reason we're through that thing, because I think, I mean, right across the world, people are going through situations, and it is important that we have an understanding of what is it that we as Christians use as a buffer or as our go-to place when situation arises. So it was really good to hear your, you know, how you expressed about how your faith being what was it? That
influence.
No man, Malika use a word.
Impacted your, right?
No, Malika use a word. It is your faith is your, what was the word you used?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You remember?
Yeah,
but basically it is what that holds you then, basically.
Yeah, it keeps you sober.
Yeah. Oh, that's the word. Your faith keeps you sober.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, yes, what advice would you have, both of you would have, for a single person who desires to get married? What is it that you would want to advise them about it? Marriage on a whole.
Okay, husband.
All right, what I would advise them is that marriage is not for kids.
Definitely.
Amen.
That's the first thing. It's not for kids.
Yeah.
And it's a journey. And at the beginning, you always hear the term relationship. So it is relation and a ship. And ship is something that constantly sails. So it has to be a journey. And if you're not willing to take that journey, then it doesn't make sense to even go into it. Because on that journey, obstacles, hurdles, a lot of things will come at your way. And if you don't know how to deal with it, it really doesn't make sense. So my little thing is, marriage is not for kids.
Yes.
Agree.
True. What I would say is, come in sober. I mean, it is a desire for everyone. I remember growing up, I wanted to get married with this white picket fence.
Mm-hmm.
Strangely, we have a white picket fence at home now, but but you have to know that when you come in, honestly, there's really no more I. And so you can't be, though you want to be selfish at times, you really have to check yourself and realize that you can't be selfish. It takes a lot of work. You get out what you put in.
Okay.
You can't want 100 and you're putting in 5. You have to work on it. You have to be selfless. You have to still keep your identity, but know that you still represent someone on the side, right? You have to trust each other. Ensure that your partner is your best friend, because once your foundation is separate apart from the Lord, but your foundation is at a friendship, it helps to make it a bit easier to maneuver when the rough time comes, because both of you would have already known each other as friends. Do not go into it blindly. It is not a bed of roses. It takes work. It takes a lot of work. There are times when one spouse will be down, and especially if you are a Christian, unsafe person, right? When you get married, and not even if you're a Christian, but just marriage in general, because I would want to expect that prayer is in marriage, regardless if you're a Christian or not, right? But every time when you have to pray for your spouse. You might think that, okay, he's the man, and because he's the man, he's supposed to be up there at all times. No, you have to understand that though he is the man, he is human and he does get tired, and so you have to try to uplift each other. I mean, be honest. Even before getting married, when you're in courtship or dating, if something affects you, it affects you. Don't not affect you and you sugarcoat it as if it doesn't, because guess what? It's going to resurface in marriage.
Yes.
And what is going to happen is that it's going to be very detrimental, because you hit it from the get-go. If you are unhappy with certain things, speak. Open your mouth and speak. Be honest with yourself and with your spouse. So just know that it takes work. It's a beautiful road, especially when the kids them jump in the mix. It's a beautiful road. It stretches you, but it helps you to become selfless.
And also it is not, persons will say it's a 50-50 thing. It's not 50-50. It's 100-100.
100.
That's true. Yes. I agree with that.
Because when you go 50-50, what happened to the other 50? The breakdown take place, so it's 100-100.
Yeah.
100-100.
If you're not going in there 100,
don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
That even 95-100.
It's true. Because I agree with that so much, because whatever percentage is left, someone is holding on to it.
Right.
And while it can be literal as well, where someone has said, I'm not give no more, even though they can. So you already put a limit.
That is true.
You put a limit. And maybe, as you're saying, if you give the whole 100, it's like every area is covered, and it will be reciprocal, because the person will know, so no shade, no dada. It is the full, whatever your full is. So that's true. A beautiful way to put it. It's true.
All right, so go ahead.
Before you remember, when you get married, you don't just marry the man. You marry the family.
True.
You marry the family. And I'm not bragging or nothing of the sort, but I honestly believe that I have one of the best mother-in-law there is.
I agree with you here. Yeah, I agree.
She's great. She's great. She's selfless,
Yes.
And so just know, when you get married, you marry the family. And when you get married, the union is between you and your spouse. Though you marry the family, there are boundaries.
Yeah, right. They have their place. Yeah.
Yes, they have their place. You don't run with your business, go tell your friend. No. Especially if your friend is unsafe and might not be sober enough to give you any true advice.
Yes.
Always pray about it first. Because it might be a big issue to you, It might mean the world. It hurts you to the core. But the time that you take to actually pray about it, you realize how God just stands you down, and it really has no effect.
Yeah.
Then when you go and run to your friend, and then this friend don't have no and then boots you up, and then it becomes a tornado when it shouldn't have.
Yes.
So though friends are good, there are boundaries.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
We could have this conversation for the whole night. But again, we are so happy and grateful that you guys have agreed to come on and share your story. We can't thank you enough. And that's why I say it's really good friends are better than pocket money. So really appreciate you guys for coming on. Before you leave, if you want to say one last thing, or if you want to pray for singles or pray for marriages, anything you want to do. And of course, when you're leaving, you have to say like, share, and subscribe to the Conversation with Elise. All right. So whatever it is that you want to leave, if it's an encouraging word or a prayer, but at the end of it, you just, in closing.
Husband?
You go first.
Oh,
I like how you both consult each other, make a decision. That's good.
Honestly, what I want.
Yes, it's your final word. Yeah.
My final word. Just trust God.
Okay.
That's all I can say. Trust God. Sometimes it's a bit hard for us to trust because we might not see. But that is why we walk by faith.
Yes.
And not by sight.
Yeah.
So trust God. Tell him everything. No matter how small it is. I'm now getting to understand, to learn that, bother God, bother him. He wants you to bother him, so bother him.
He doesn't mind.
He doesn't care. He just wants you to come.
That's what he loves.
So trust him. Learn to trust him.
Okay.
Husband?
Final word. As the scripture said, faith is the substance of things hoped for.
Yes.
Evidence of things not seen. And in marriage, if you don't see a beautiful marriage 100 years down the line, it will not be a beautiful marriage.
It's a seed.
Yeah, you have to believe.
You have to see it, believe it, accept it, and let it work.
Do it. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. So again, excellent answers. And guys, we really, really appreciate you coming on. And you have the last word to encourage others to like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you for having us, though. It was a pleasure.
Yes, thank you both.
And viewers, please
remember to
like. Let's use this. Viewers, let me speak to you now. All right? Remember, like, share, comment. Tell a friend, come like Conversation with Elise. Want to go to 1,000 subscribers, and we can't do without you.
Yes.
Get involved, man. I know you've probably liked already, but tell a friend, your co-worker, you go school, college. Enough people that are college. Come on, let's get the list there. Conversation with Elise. Like, share, subscribe. Blessings.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Really enjoy having you.
All right. So we'll book up again.
Yes.
All right. Blessings.
Until we meet.
Take care. All right.
Is yet